Imagine this. You're in a high-stakes meeting. Tension fills the room, and then complete silence. Everyone shifts uncomfortably, eyes darting around, waiting for a response. And then, with measured words, you break the silence, and suddenly, everyone is hanging on to your every word. This is the power of silence. And today, we're diving deep into how mastering silence can make you more powerful, influential, and respected. Let's begin. Law number 4. Always say less than necessary. If you've ever read Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power, you know this rule. The less you say, the more powerful you appear. Why? Because those who talk too much often reveal their weaknesses. Take King Louis XIV, for example. When his courtiers delivered bad news, he would simply respond with, "I shall see," followed by silence. That pause alone was enough to strike fear and respect into those around him. Now, you may not be a king, but you can use the same principle in your own life. When you speak less, people listen more. Your words carry weight, and that's just the beginning. Advantage number 1. You appear more powerful. Think about the last time you met someone who wouldn't stop talking about themselves. Annoying, right? Bragging, oversharing, or constantly explaining yourself makes you look insecure. But when you hold back, when you say just enough, people lean in. They become intrigued. They see you as confident, in control, and even mysterious. Powerful people don't need to prove themselves with words. They let their presence do the talking. Advantage number 2. You become a master at reading. People's silence forces you to listen and observe. The less you talk, the more you notice. Subtle shifts in tone, body language, and micro-expressions that others miss. Liars often talk too much, trying to cover their tracks. But when you stay silent, they start filling the empty space with words, and eventually, they slip up. By saying less, you gain the upper hand in any social situation. Advantage number 3. You avoid saying something you regret. Have you ever said something in the heat of the moment only to regret it later? Words, once spoken, can't be taken back. Staying silent helps you control your emotions. It prevents you from reacting impulsively and making mistakes that could damage relationships, careers, or reputations. Instead of blurting out your thoughts, pause, think, and then respond strategically. Advantage number 4. People will love talking to you. You might think that being silent makes you less likable, but it's the opposite. People love great listeners. Dale Carnegie, in How to Win Friends and Influence People, tells a story about meeting a florist at a dinner party. Dale barely spoke, just listened. By the end of the night, the florist raved about Dale being one of the best conversationalists he'd ever met. The truth? Dale barely said a word. But by giving the florist the space to talk, he made him feel heard and important. If you master silence, people will naturally gravitate toward you. Advantage number 5. Silence is a weapon in negotiation. In any negotiation, silence is your secret weapon. Most people hate awkward pauses. They rush to fill them, often giving away valuable information without realizing it. By staying silent, you make the other person uncomfortable. They start second-guessing themselves. They lower their demands. They make concessions. And suddenly, you have the upper hand. The moment you learn to be comfortable with silence, you'll notice how much control you truly have in conversations. Final thought. Are you someone who talks too much, or someone who values silence? Let me know in the comments. And if you found this video valuable, check out my other videos where I break down more life-changing principles. Remember, power isn't always in what you say. Sometimes the greatest power lies in what you don't say. Like, subscribe and stay silent, but powerful.